Hello everyone and welcome back to Monday Evening Crafting with Lillian. I'm so glad you can join me tonight. We are glad to be back on Monday night and we're going to unlock some of that fun paper crafting stuff that we enjoy so much. My name is Lillian. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada, and I love sharing projects with you. And let me see if I can move my head. If you joined me during the week, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. You would have seen me make those two bags when I just sort of popped on Saturday and showed you how to make those. So that was lots of fun. If you're interested, you can check my YouTube channel and it's there, and you can find out all about that. So I see lots of people starting to hop on, and I am so glad, and welcome. Here it is still snowing, believe it or not, and it is chilly. It's supposed to settle down after this, but it's been a snowy day. And we had the grandchildren today, and our granddaughter decided that she wanted to craft, which she just loves to do. And so she said she wanted to make a calendar that she could cross it off and count down to Christmas. So she took the Days to Remember stamp set, and we figured out how to do November and December. And then she took the Snowman Magic stamp set. Let me just grab that for you right here. The Snowman Magic stamp set, and she made a whole bunch of background with trees and all different kinds of things. And then she wanted to have something to put over top of the numbers. And so her brother came along and helped her, and they die cut snowflakes and stars and hearts. And this Snowman Magic one was, the dies for that was really helpful in that. And then they put them on glue dots, so they're all set for her to count down. Roz, a hurricane. Yes, I'd rather have snow any day than a hurricane. I hope you're going to be okay. You've had some brutal weather down there. So I hope you stay safe. Hunker down there. So why don't you just share one thing that you've done today? I've shared one thing I've done. So while I'm going down to my desktop, share one thing you have done today. So, and now we're doing that. And it might be as simple as getting up and going to work. You know, sometimes that's a major accomplishment. I've got my camera a little higher because I'm using the die cutting machine. And let's see if we can get it situated. I'll lower it once we've finished with the die cutting machine, but we'll get it that far. So just a little reminder, I'm going to check to make sure I'm actually, there I am. Oh, yay. Gotta love that. Just a quick reminder that this month's Paper Pumpkin is an amazing tag kit where you make 4 each of 3 designs for a total of 12. You can remember that also would work for an element on a card as well. So, but the sign up is November 10th. That's the deadline. So make sure that you have signed up if that's what you want to, if you're interested in Paper Pumpkin. So let me just move that to the side, and we're going to revisit the whole fitting florets thing right now. So I am absolutely loving this whole collection. So you can buy it as a collection for $134.75, or you can pick elements of the collection. Oh, you're ready to be at the Christmas market in Onaway. Oh, that's fabulous, Bonnie. Good luck with that. You always make such nice things, so it'll be super. So one of the things, and what we're going to be concentrating on tonight, is the Framed Florets stamp set and the dies. And they also come as a bundle. And so the bundle is 10% off. So that's $74.50. We used the whole collection in my stamping time with my stamp club this month. They loved it. They fell in love with these swirls, and they also really, really loved the framed and festive stamp set and the paper. So I will show you at the end what we made, but just be warned, this is a fabulous collection, and these things here, these three, will not be available after they sell out. So they're an exclusive limited time item. We're going to work with this. This is actually going to be in the next mini catalog. And I'm going to talk about a little special offer I have with that in a little bit. But we're going to use the dies from right here, and we're going to use the stamp set. So we're going to make the project, and then I will show you a little bit more about what I'm talking about. So let me just make this big on my screen so I can see your comments better. There we go. So we are going to shake things up tonight. So here it is right here. This is the card we're going to make. We love shaker cards, right? They are so much fun. I haven't made one in a long time, and this bundle really, really works well with shaker cards because they've got so many great layers. So this is what we're going to make. So let's bring in the pieces. So they're all in an envelope here. And I've done some of the die cutting, but some I haven't. So we'll work on that together. So we've got the oval. So this oval, let me bring in my little cheat sheet here. This oval here is the big one. So it comes from the center of this die right here. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using some window sheets. That's what I was supposed to get. So window sheets, it's likely hard to see, but they're clear plastic. Now, if you do not have, first of all, if you want to know where to find window sheets in the catalog, because they're clear, it's a little bit tough to notice them sometimes, but you will find them on page 140, and they are right here. So you've got your thick basic white and your thick very vanilla. You've got your shimmery white, your watercolor paper, your vellum, and right in there are your window sheets. Now, if you don't have window sheets, let me just see. Let me bring in, okay, our photopolymer stamps come with, they come mounted on a piece of acetate that looks like this. I always say that it's the same as a window sheet. So you can use these. So they come in every single one of your photopolymer sets. So if I save them, because I never know when I might need them, but they would work perfectly for a shaker card. So there's a little way of recycling and reusing. So we're also going to use some black paper. We're going to use some of this from the silver foil package. We're using some of this nice kind of gray, almost pewtery, and we've cut these two pieces out, and those get cut out with this die here. So it cuts this part here and actually embosses, and then it also cuts this oval. So that's where we're getting that from. I used these because I needed some hearts for my shaker card. So I cut these out. I'll use them in another card, but I've saved the hearts for my shaker card. And let's just gather some of this stuff up here before I get too big a mess. And then we've got some of the designer paper, this right here, and it's got that on the back, some black paper again, and this is for the inside. And then we've got some balmy blue. So let's fold that on the score line and give it a good burnish. We've got that ready to go. And I actually was getting organized and did all this a few days ago. Now I have to remember what I did. Now we're going to fasten the designer paper to the basic black. So I'm just going to bring this in so you can maybe see a little bit better. And I'm actually going to use my seal. Doesn't matter likely, but whoops, my seal just ran out. Now you get a lesson on how to change your seal. There we go. I knew that was going to happen, so I have a new seal refill here. So I'm going to take this off. Need to do a little bit of cleaning there. And take that out. this piece right here goes in the garbage. So we keep the case, clean any gooey stuff off that you might have. Open up your package. And both your Seal and your Seal Plus fit in the same holder. Just a second here. There we go. Okay. What am I doing? This is actually extremely easy. So this goes like that. This goes like that. Trying to put it in upside down, looks like. Well, I have changed these a zillion times. Had no problem, but because I'm doing this on camera, there, just like that. We've got it ready to go, and it needs a little start there. There we go. We're all set. There, and I'm going to put like an X down the middle, and you're going to see why in a minute. So we're going to mount this. Now this, attach this. This is a very narrow border, but I think we've got it. So there we go, just like that. And we're going to bring in my die. We're going to use this right here, that die there. We're also going to bring in some of the scrap paper here, and we're going to bring in the other die, this one here, and cut that out. So those are the two things that we're going to die cut right now. So let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and do that. So we'll cut out our scrap here because we want that frame. So we'll run that through. Just like that. I love how our dies cut so much better than they did several years ago. Do you remember when it was quite painful sometimes? And then you just kind of go like that, or you can use the little brush. Now, notice I'm getting a lot of those pieces out over here, and I'm doing that on purpose because I want to show you. Have you ever been a little bit frustrated when you get all these little bits on your die cutting machine and then you try to get them off? And one of my plates that I'm using is really old, and they get really embedded in it, and it's just a colossal pain. Do you have a trick for picking those up or getting rid of them? Somebody shared with me, or reminded me, because I used to do this and I had forgotten. Maybe I'd never done it with my die cutting machine. I don't know. But you get all this confetti here, and we have lots of intricate dies that have lots of confetti. So when I was doing lots of these, look at all the confetti I would have from that. So what works really, really well is a lint roller. Oh, Roz, great minds think alike. We're on the same page. And you roll it over like that, and look at all those bits and pieces are gone, and they're not on the floor or anywhere else. They're all on your lint roller. So there's a little tip for you tonight. So now we've got this frame, and we need that. Now what we need to do is cut our opening. So let's decide where we want the opening. I think I want it about there. And we will put it back through. Just like that. Now we can get rid of the die cutting machine. And bring it in, and we have our opening. A little lopsided, but oh well, we'll go with that. And then we've got this here. So we'll put those to the side. We'll put our dies to the side and give ourselves a little bit of space here. and start making our card. I'm going to have to do something to balance that. I'll figure something out. So we've got this part done. Now what we need to do is fasten one of those window sheets to the back of this. So I'm just going to bring in my seal again. I like to use a dry adhesive when I'm with the window sheets. It just seems to work better for me. You can use whatever you want. Like that. We'll bring in one of the window sheets and just place it over top. So all I've done is cut the window sheet large enough that it's going to cover the hole and give me room to fasten it down. I'll have the measurements in Thursday's newsletter, so no worries about that. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to build a trough around here where I can put the shaker elements. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring in the foam adhesive strips. Now they come like this, so they are, let me see, they are 9.5 inches long. I tend to cut mine down a little bit, and like this, I just find them a little bit easier to handle, but that's just me. So you can make them whatever you want. Now these are fabulous. They are just like dimensionals. They're just a smidge thicker, so that if you can have a little more room for the shaker business to happen, or if you want, even if you're not making a shaker card, these work great if you want just a little more height. Now, and they also bend. So let me put this back underneath so maybe it shows up a bit better. So I am just going to start to run them around the edge, just a smidge in from the opening. I don't want that in too far. And it doesn't have to be a work of art because no one is going to see it. So, but you do want to make sure, let me just show you, you butt it up close. You don't want to leave an opening for any of those embellishments to come scooting out. That just kind of spoils the whole effect. There we go. So we're going to get another one here. And this time, I'm just going to bring in my scissors and snip it off right where the join is. Just like that. And I'm going to keep this because lots of times you need just a piece to finish things off. So let me just put those to the side. So now we've got it like that. It's looking good. It's supposed to go like that. Okay, so what can we put in here? So first off, window sheets are full of static. So how can you eliminate that? I didn't on this just to try it out, and you can see my hearts are actually sticking to the window a little bit. So how you can eliminate that, there are several different things you can do. It depends what works for you. One is you can take a dryer sheet and just run it around and swish it around in there, but a lot of us don't use dryer sheets anymore. So what else can you do? You can actually use your embossing buddy, and this is my old one, and just kind of swish it around there. And I like to even go on the edges a little bit like that, and it just eliminates some of the static, I find. So there we go. We've got it like that. Now we're going to put this aside, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping and then come back and work with that some more. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in that big oval, and we're going to bring in our stamps. And the stamps are from the Framed Florets set. So they're from this set here. You could easily substitute the Christmas stamps in there just as well. But we're going to go for and use this. I absolutely love, love, love the font of these and the words that are included. So let's, whoops, I don't need that one. I need the black, just about stamped in Versamark. We could do that too, but that wasn't the original plan. So I'm going to stamp that down like that. And I'll bring in some of those leafy images, I think, and just do a little decoration in balmy blue. So on here, I didn't do that, but I decided afterwards, I think I would like just a little bit of interest there. So we'll make one like that. And let's bring in our Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to stamp that off so it's a little bit lighter. And I'll do a bit more down here. And there we go. We have our stamping like that. So we'll take that to the side. So eventually, just to show you where we're headed, that is what is going to show through here. Now I can already hear there's space there and there's all kinds of problems. Not to worry. We're going to take care of all of that. So let's bring this back in and let's put our shaker stuff in there. So one of the things I'm using is those little hearts that I cut out from these sheets, if you remember that I was telling you that. And then we'll put those in. I'll just dump them in like that. I use my old embellishment containers for all kinds of things. Then we have something called effervescent elements, and they are like this. And they're just so much fun, and they even add a bit of noise. Now you could use any sequins, or maybe you have some sparkle and glitter, and there's some wonderful sequins in the catalog. I don't have them, but there are some loose sequins. Where are they? They are, now I can't see them offhand, but there are sequins in both catalogs. So take a look and find them, and let's just put some of these in here. Ooh, they pick up every color. I just love them. All right, so there we go. We've got that. Now our goal is to put another window sheet here. So let's take our Take Your Pick tool and peel this backing off. Just like that. Trying not to bang it because everything will go flying, and those little things are not fun to step on, let me tell you. There we go. So we've got it like that. Now when I go to put this window sheet on, again, it doesn't have to be pretty. Nobody's going to see it. But if you get close and hum and haw, the static will pull from here and everything's going to fly up. So you kind of have to get it lined up and then act confidently and stick it down. Just like that. Look at that. Isn't that fun? There we go. So now to put this on, we are going to, I forgot one step at the beginning. I was supposed to, when I had this opening, before I put the window sheets, I was supposed to figure out where to put this. So we're going to do it a little more difficultly here. So I'm going to would have made life much easier. Some people like to do this, put the stamping right on here. I find it easier just to do a double window sheet myself. So I'm going to line this up. And now I'm going to line this up and put the words down. There, that wasn't so bad. Yep, that works. And again, don't worry about this. We're going to take care of that. So now we've got these pieces here. Let's fasten this to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use some glue dots, or you can use tear and tape, or I could use seal. Let's try seal. Yeah, it'll work. I'm just putting it where it's not going to be in the window, right? Now, I want this to be supported too, so I'm bringing in some more of the same foam adhesive strips because I want the height to be the same. I'm just going to put a couple there, and let's see, we could put a couple up there too, just to give it a little extra support so it doesn't sag. And then the rest is supported by that, and it'll be just fine. But this is one time when you don't want to mix your dimensional type of things up. If you're using the foam adhesive strips, stick with the foam adhesive strips. If you don't have the foam adhesive strips and you want to make a shaker card, another option is to take your regular dimensionals, but take the edges. So here's the regular dimensionals. You could peel the edges off and use them and do it that way. You won't have quite as much thickness, so you would have to keep whatever you're shaking a little lower down, but it will still work beautifully. Okay, so there we go. We've now got it fastened to the card. Now we're going to bring in our elements. So we're going to fasten this down here. We're going to just put a bit of our multi-purpose glue on here, just a little dab here and there. Remember, if you find you have trouble getting just a little dab of the multi-purpose glue, you can put some down here on your silicone mat and then pick it up with a sponge, or even just like put some here and then just pick some up with the nib and get a little bit like that. It helps to give control. But we don't need tons, and I think that will be good. So we'll bring in our card and fasten this right over top. So we've got the frame now. Just hold it down for a minute. There we go. Whoops. Don't let it stick to your gluey fingers. So now we've got it like that, and that looks really pretty, just like that. But what if we bring in, okay, I moved a bunch of stuff. Here it is, right here. What if we bring in this piece? This I'm going to save for another project. But what if we bring in this, and it just adds a little bit more of a frame to it. Now, with this one here, I put it on dimensionals. So I put black dimensionals behind and raised it up. You might say, well, I don't want to do that. Well, then you can just glue it right down. It does have a lot of dimension, so it is going to be a little more of a expensive to mail, but you know what? It's a special card and it's kind of fun. So I am going to bring in my mini black dimensionals. You can use your mini white. You can use whatever you want. I just happen to have black. Or you could cut your dimensionals in half. Our goal is to make sure that our dimensionals don't show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on. I'm going to start at, okay, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I've got 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then just put a couple in between. Just like that. Now, before I take those backings off, I'm going to turn it over and make sure I don't have any dimensionals showing from this side. If I did, then I could rearrange them a little bit. I did well this time. When I made the sample, I had to move a couple. Practice makes perfect, they say, right? Not always for me, but it did this time. Oh, I think I missed one here. I think it could handle one more. There we go. And let's sort of just carefully layer this on, just like that. And we need some embellishments. And one of the embellishments that I think is a sleeper in the mini catalog are the adhesive back sequins and gems. Now, I've used them a couple of times. So they're these gems here, and then there are these gorgeous sequins. And I was kind of thinking that these gems would look really nice on it. So that's what I went with. When I was doing the sample here, I had them all lined up. I tried different things, and then I went for, let's just scatter them. So I put a couple up here. These are just so pretty. I just love them. They really add to the project. Okay, I want it to go, or do I? Yeah, I want it to go that way. There we go. So there is our card. Now, because I got mine a little lopsided, I could correct it by putting some ribbon here or something. So I will think about that. Now, the inside of the card, let's bring that in. The inside of the card, I got playing around. I thought, well, we've got this, and we've got another great stamp in the same set for a special person on a special day. So why don't we, while we've got everything out, stamp that? So I'll bring in my black ink, and we will stamp that right here. Let's see if I've got it straight. I needed a little more ink on that one. I think I'll flip that over. My granddaughter caught an edge with her stamp today, and it was the end of the world. She's a bit of a perfectionist. And so I said, do what I tell my ladies to do. Turn it over and use the other side. And that was all good till she made the next smudge. And I said, well, there's a way of fixing that. There's never a mistake. You can always fix it. And we had to have a few lessons on being a little more relaxed about things. But she did well. And we'll add some more of these leaves. Well, that one's going right there. It just dropped. There we go. And I actually stopped there initially with my card, and then I was looking and I thought, well, I've got this. How would that look around there? So that's what I did on this card. I just added it around there, and so I used that on the inside. So take a look at the bits and pieces you have left over, and maybe they'll look good on the inside. You never know. So here's the card. The two versions. I'll move this out of the way and finish that up later. And I just want to share a few things. One of them is, this is the card that we made last week, and so I drew names, and the person who got it was Judy W. So Judy, this will be coming in the mail to you, and I love those. I wanted to share a couple of other things in our stamp club, which we call Stamping Time. So our monthly stamp club, we made this last week or the week before. So it's just vellum paper, folded back, and it stands up great. So that was just another thing that we made. And then I'm getting some fun folds and that kind of thing ready, and so I used this great bundle again, but we used some different paper, and there we have a fun fold card. So that might be coming your way a little later, that kind of thing. But I want to talk just a smidge more about the bundle, the stamp set, and the dies. If you purchase that from me, what have I got here? I've got a sequin flying around. If you purchase that from me within the next 2 weeks, so between November 8th and November 22nd, I will give you, as a thank you, card fronts made from the different coordinating papers. So these are the papers that coordinate with the designer paper. I will give you the 7 card fronts and 7 envelopes, and I will pop those into the mail to you, or if you order right through me, I can put it in with your order. So that's my little ordering special. So between now and November 22nd, if you order the bundle that I used here tonight, you will receive this little packet as a thank you. So just wanted you to let you know that. And the other thing that I wanted to let you know is I am getting ready to go to Vancouver because I'm going to the Stampin' Up! Convention called On Stage. Now, the main one is actually in Vienna, Austria, and I'm not making that journey, much as it would have been nice, but they're having a mini one in Vancouver and a few other places, and so I am going there and also sneaking in a visit with my mom at the same time. So I'm going to be away on next Monday night. So next week's next week's Facebook Live will be Wednesday, November 16th at 10 o'clock. So don't worry if you don't see me Monday night. I will be showing up on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. So that's about it. Judy, you think you missed it? Well, guess what, Judy? Your name was drawn for this, so congratulations. Glad you came on right now. And so there we go. I think that's about it. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, I ask that you please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon too. It will help remind you when I am going live. And if you need any of these products and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be delighted to help you. So have some fun with crafting this week. Stay warm and safe, whether it's a hurricane or whatever. Roz, you take care there. And everyone, have a good week. Bye-bye.